Have you ever felt that your true femininity is something more than dresses, makeup, or a soft tone of voice? As if a deep, quiet ocean is hidden within you, but on the surface, you're forced to portray just a light ripple to meet someone's expectations. You look at some women and see their feminine power flowing naturally, effortlessly, like breathing. It's in their walk, their gaze, their silence. Men are drawn to them as if to a source of warmth without fully understanding what it is that so attracts them. And others, despite all their efforts to be feminine, go unnoticed, as if their energy is blocked, their inner light dimmed. Why does this happen? This isn't a matter of luck or innate qualities. It's a matter of accessing your authentic nature. Carl Jung, the great explorer of the human soul, dedicated his life to studying these deep currents within us. He asserted that a powerful archetype lives within every woman, which he called the anima, her inner feminine essence. And this anima has nothing to do with the social masks and roles imposed upon us. It's not about being convenient, quiet, or submissive. It's about being alive. The modern world, with its cult of productivity, logic, and achievement, forces a woman to betray her anima. It demands that she be a man in a skirt, strong, rational, controlling. And in this race for success, a woman loses connection to the source of her greatest power. She begins to feel depleted, exhausted, as if she's playing someone else's role in her own life. But Jung revealed to us that the path to this lost power exists. It lies not outside, but within. It doesn't require breaking yourself, it requires remembering yourself. There are ancient, almost forgotten keys that open the doors to this inner source. These are not superficial tips, but deep psychological practices that change not your behavior, but your very essence. They awaken that very energy that men sense on an instinctive, unconscious level. They can't explain it, but they respond to it unerringly. Today, I will share with you 4 of these ancient secrets. These are not just habits. They are 4 portals to your true self. 4 steps that will allow your femininity to blossom as it was meant to, freely, powerfully, and irresistibly. Are you ready to stop playing a part and start living? Then listen closely. Secret 1. The return to the body, vessel of the soul. The first and most fundamental secret is the return to your body. We live in a culture that extols the mind and disdains the body. We are taught to think, analyze, and plan, but we are rarely taught to feel. Our body has been transformed from a sacred temple of the soul into a mere instrument for achieving goals or an object of endless improvement and criticism. We live in our heads in a world of thoughts, anxieties, and to-do lists, completely ignoring the wisdom stored in every cell of our being. Jung asserted that the unconscious speaks to us precisely through the body. Psychosomatic symptoms, unexplained fatigue, a sudden tension in the shoulders, these are not system malfunctions, but messages from our soul. For a woman, this connection to the body is of paramount importance. Her anima is not an abstract idea, it's a living, breathing energy that manifests through bodily sensations, through the fluidity of movement, the warmth in the chest, a relaxed belly, the ability to derive pleasure from the simplest things, the aroma of coffee, the touch of silk on the skin, a ray of sun on the face. A woman who lives in her head radiates an energy of anxiety and control. Her movements are sharp, her shoulders tense, her breathing shallow. She can be impeccably dressed and made up, but one feels a coldness around her. Her laughter seems slightly forced, her touch quick and functional. It's as if she is performing life, not living it. Men sense this. They read it as inner tension, as being closed off. They see a beautiful form, but do not feel the living, warm content. A woman who has returned to her body is a completely different story. She is present, here and now.
Her walk is unhurried and graceful because she feels the contact of her feet with the ground. Her gaze is calm and deep because she is not lost in thoughts about the future, but is in the present moment. She doesn't just hear, she listens with her entire body. Her energy becomes grounded, warm, and fluid. Even her silence becomes comfortable and full because it comes from a place of peace, not anxiety. She accepts her body with all its imperfections, and this accepted physicality becomes part of her shadow, which she no longer fears, but integrates into her wholeness. And men find this magnetic. This is what they call real femininity. They can't articulate why they feel so calm and good around her, but their unconscious recognizes in her what is so lacking in the modern world: stability, acceptance, and sensuality. She isn't trying to seduce, but her physical presence is the most potent aphrodisiac. She becomes the embodiment of life, not just a pretty picture. Returning to the body is not about grueling workouts at the gym. It's about restoring a lost connection. To begin this journey, breathe consciously. Several times a day, stop and simply follow your breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, feel your belly rise and fall. This is the fastest way to get out of your head and back into your body. Move for pleasure, not for purpose. Put on music and dance however your body wants to, without rules or mirrors. Go for walks with no destination, just to feel the movement. Do yoga or stretching, concentrating not on the result, but on the sensations in your muscles. Practice sensual awareness. When you eat, taste the food. When you shower, feel the drops of water on your skin. When you apply lotion, do it gently, with love, as if touching something sacred. Jung would say that by ignoring the body, we cut ourselves off from a huge part of our psyche. For a woman, this is equivalent to damming the river that feeds a blooming garden. Once you begin to bring your attention back to your body, you will notice how your energy changes. It will become more fluid, deep, and attractive. You will stop being just an idea of woman and will become one in the fullest sense. And everyone will feel it because you will begin to radiate not anxiety, but a calm, confident life force. Secret 2. Accepting the flow of feelings. Strength in vulnerability. The second secret that modern culture tries to take from us is the right to the full spectrum of human feelings. From childhood, a girl is taught to be a good girl. Don't be angry, don't cry, be nice, smile. Any inconvenient emotions, anger, sadness, resentment, fear, are labeled as bad, wrong, or hysterical. As a result, a woman puts on a persona, a social mask of perpetual friendliness, and dumps all her genuine feelings into her shadow, into the dark basement of her unconscious. But Jung warned, what we resist persists. Suppressed emotions do not disappear, they accumulate, poisoning us from within, and erupt in the form of passive aggression, psychosomatic illnesses, depression, or sudden uncontrollable outbursts that frighten both her and those around her. This tyranny of positivity is one of the cruelest forms of self-violence. A woman living under the weight of her mask becomes emotionally flat, predictable, and ultimately lifeless.
Men sense this. Around an ideal, always positive woman, they sense a falseness. Their intuition tells them that something else is hiding behind that smile, but they don't know what. This creates subconscious distrust and distance. He feels as if he's walking through a minefield, afraid of accidentally triggering the hidden detonator of her unexpressed grievances. A relationship with such a woman becomes superficial because there is no room for truth. She is afraid to show her vulnerability, and he, in turn, is afraid to be real around her. True femininity, the awakened anima, is not afraid of feelings. It understands that emotions are not weakness, but energy. They are a river that flows through us. Anger is energy for protecting boundaries. Sadness is energy for healing and letting go. Fear is a signal to be attentive. Joy is the energy of expansion. She doesn't drown in her emotions and unleash them on others. She has learned to be a wise and compassionate container for them. She can say, "I'm angry right now," instead of silently accumulating resentment. She can allow herself to cry without considering it a weakness. Her emotional world is as rich and deep as the ocean, and this is precisely what makes her incredibly attractive. Men experience this as authenticity. Around such a woman, they can relax, they can be themselves. Her emotional honesty gives him permission to be honest in return. He sees not a porcelain doll afraid of cracking, but a living human being capable of weathering both storms and calm. This evokes not pity, but the deepest respect and trust. Her vulnerability becomes her greatest strength, because she shows she has the courage to be real. To open yourself to this flow, name your feelings. Instead of saying, "everything is fine," stop and ask yourself, "what am I really feeling right now?" Name the feeling. I feel irritated. I feel sad. I feel disappointed. The simple act of naming it reduces its intensity and gives you back control. Make space for your feelings. Allow yourself 5 minutes a day to just be with what you feel, without judgment. If you want to cry, cry. If you feel anger, punch a pillow or write an angry letter that you don't send. Your task is not to suppress, but to experience and release. When you stop fighting with your feelings and allow them to flow through you, you will integrate your shadow. You will become whole. Your energy will cease to be stagnant and will turn into a turbulent but manageable current. You will become unpredictable, interesting, real. And a man who finds himself near you will feel that he is connected not with a mask, but with a living soul. And that is the most powerful attraction of all. Secret 3. Trusting the inner voice, the wisdom of intuition. The third secret is to restore trust in your intuition. We were raised in a world where logic, facts, and proof reign supreme. Anything that cannot be measured, weighed, and explained rationally is considered nonsense, fantasy, or feminine foolishness. Intuition, that quiet knowledge without proof, that inner compass that unerringly points the way, has been discredited and sent into exile.
A woman who doesn't trust her intuition constantly seeks answers and validation externally. She consults with everyone, reads hundreds of articles, and looks for a guru to tell her how to live. She doubts her every decision because her inner advisor is silent, or she simply can't hear it. It's important to distinguish the quiet, calm voice of intuition from the loud, panicked cry of anxiety. Anxiety screams, "What if?" Intuition calmly states, "This is it." A woman who confuses these two voices becomes dependent on others' opinions and loses her own path. Men sense this. They see an insecure, anxious woman who doesn't know what she wants. She may be very intelligent and educated, but she lacks inner wisdom. She doesn't trust herself, and therefore it's hard for her to trust others. This creates a sense of instability and chaos. A woman who has awakened her intuition is a completely different phenomenon. She may not know all the facts, but she knows when to say yes and when to say no. She can read people and situations through and through. She notices the signs and synchronicities the world sends her. She trusts her dreams. Her decisions may seem illogical to others, but they always turn out to be right for her. She develops a mystery, a depth, a connection to something larger than herself. Men experience this as magic. Their rational mind cannot explain it, but they see that she seems to move with the flow, that life itself helps her. She cannot be deceived because she senses falsehood from a mile away. He feels that she sees not his social mask, but his essence, and this is both disarming and incredibly attractive. Around her, a man begins to believe that the world is not just a collection of random events, but a living, speaking organism. Her intuition awakens his own. To revive this gift, start keeping a dream journal. Dreams are the direct language of your unconscious. Write them down immediately upon waking, even if they seem nonsensical. Over time, you will begin to see recurring symbols and plots. Listen to your first thought. When you're making a decision, what is the first thought or feeling that comes to you before logic and criticism kick in? More often than not, this is the voice of your intuition. Learn to trust it, starting with small things. Practice doing nothing. Intuition doesn't shout, it whispers. And to hear it, you need inner quiet. Give yourself an information detox. Turn off your phone, the internet, the TV, and just be in silence. Walk in nature. It is in these moments that the most important insights arrive. By trusting your inner voice, you connect with yourself, your true, deep I. You stop being a leaf blown about by the winds of others' opinions and become a tree with deep roots. You acquire a wisdom that is independent of age or education, and this quiet, confident wisdom will shine from your eyes, making you incredibly attractive and mysterious. Secret 4 is the art of receiving, not achieving, the power of empty space. And finally, the fourth secret, the most subtle and the most counterintuitive for the modern world, is the art of receiving, not achieving. Masculine energy is, by its nature, directed outward, towards conquest, achieving goals, structuring the world, fighting. Feminine energy, in contrast, is the energy of receiving, attracting, creating a space in which something can be born and grow.
Modern society pushes women onto the masculine path. Be proactive, go after what you want, control the situation. A woman begins to act like a hunter. She makes the first call, she organizes everything, she solves the problems, she fills every pause in conversation. Behind this is a deep fear. The fear of not being needed. The fear that if she lets go of control, she will be forgotten and abandoned. Her hyperactivity is a defense mechanism against a feeling of her own insignificance. She turns her life and relationships into a project that needs constant management. Men sense this. Around such a woman, they cannot relax. They either feel unnecessary, she does everything herself anyway, or they enter into competition with her. The polarity disappears. That very spark between the masculine and feminine poles that creates attraction. He doesn't feel a space around her where he could enter and express his masculine nature, to care for, to protect, to give, to act. She has already taken that space for herself. True femininity understands the power of empty space. It is not afraid of silence. It is not afraid of a pause. It is not afraid to wait. This is not passivity or weakness. It is a powerful, active form of receiving. With her energy, she creates a vacuum that the world and other people rush to fill. She is like a beautiful garden that doesn't chase butterflies, but simply blooms, and the butterflies are drawn to its fragrance on their own. Receiving isn't just about gifts. It is the ability to accept another's opinion without arguing, to accept help without feeling indebted, to accept a compliment without embarrassment. It is a state of openness to the world. And men feel this as the greatest relief and gift. Around her, they don't have to prove anything. They can finally exhale and be men. Her ability to receive awakens in him the desire to give. Her calm soothes his anxieties. Her trust inspires him to great deeds. She gives him the most precious gift, the opportunity to feel strong and needed. For him, she becomes not another project, but a quiet harbor to which he wants to return again and again. Her power lies not in what she does, but in who she is. She is a space of love that one wants to enter. To learn this art, practice silence. In a conversation, take a pause before you respond. Don't rush to fill the quiet. See what happens. Most likely, your partner in conversation will open up more deeply. Learn to ask. Start small. Ask a stranger to help you carry a bag. Ask a colleague to explain something you don't understand. Do it not from a place of weakness, but from a position of, I am allowing you to help me. Accept compliments. Instead of saying, oh, it's nothing, or devaluing the praise, just say, with a warm smile, thank you, that's very kind of you. Stop controlling. Let go of at least one area of your life. Trust that things will work out for the best even without your total supervision. Jung spoke of the importance of integrating the anima and animus. The art of receiving is precisely this return to your anima. It is not a refusal to act, but the discovery of balance. When you learn to create this receptive space, your femininity will blossom in a new way. You will become not one who chases after love, but one who is its source. And this magnetic, calm radiance will attract to you everything you need without struggle or effort. The 4 secrets we have spoken of today, the return to the body, accepting the flow of feelings, trusting the inner voice, and the art of receiving, are not separate techniques. They are facets of the same diamond. This is the path to your wholeness, to yourself, which Jung called the process of individuation. It is the path from a woman who tries to earn love to a woman who is love. From a woman who seeks external validation of her worth to a woman who has found that inexhaustible source within.
Your true femininity is not a mask you can put on. It is a state that is born from a deep connection with yourself. When you return to your body, you become sensual. When you accept your emotions, you become real. When you trust your intuition, you become wise. When you learn to receive, you become a magnet. And this is exactly what men feel. They don't analyze. They react to your energy. They are drawn to your inner light, to your wholeness, to the sense of life that you radiate. They feel not what you do for them, but who you are becoming for yourself. Stop trying to be someone else. Stop following someone else's rules. Your task is not to become the perfect woman. Your task is to become yourself, fully, with all your strength and vulnerability. your light and your shadow. Let this conversation be the beginning of your journey home, to yourself. Start small. Choose one secret and practice it for a week. Observe how your sense of self changes and how the world responds. You will be amazed. Because as soon as a woman remembers who she truly is, the entire universe begins to help her blossom. This isn't mysticism, it's psychology, deep and true. And your femininity is waiting for you to finally let it bloom.